to release Coutinho down the left, but his opposite number. But Marcelo does brilliantly in tight space to Akanji, and Shaqiri tries to release Seferovic down the inside right channel early on for Switzerland, but that's been watched all the way by Miranda. Seferovic putting in the pressure by the corner flag, sticking to him like glue, and he's forced to throw as he knows the ball hasn't gone out of play. He's done really well, Seferovic, and they've won a throw finally down that right hand side of the Swiss, just about level with the edge of the Brazilian penalty area. 0-0.
Brilliant atmosphere, so many Brazilian supporters here inside the stadium. Interesting to see how they lined up as well, because there's a suggestion that Coutinho might play ahead of Casemiro and Paulinho. It doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like Casemiro is just going to sit in front of the Brazilian back four, with Paulinho and Coutinho just pushed up ahead of him.
Casemiro, one of the important players that was recalled by Chichi to this revamped Brazilian lineup. I mentioned him giving him Gabriel Jesus a debut. Well, he gave Casemiro a second wind as an international footballer without question, and he's been one of the reasons why Brazil's qualification campaign for this World Cup, which looked in jeopardy in the early stages, got itself spectacularly back on track, and Brazil were the first country, other than the hosts Russia, to qualify for this jamboree. Here come the Swiss though. Nearly a couple of minutes gone on TalkSport. It's Rodriguez, level with the edge of the Brazilian penalty area. Hand side, the ball's deflected out towards the corner flag, gone out to play before a Swiss player can grab hold of it. So that's a goal kick to Brazil, to be taken by Alisson of Roma. 2 minutes gone on TalkSport. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
Well, it was a confident enough start from the Swiss. We said that the full-backs like to get forward. We've just seen that. The left-back, Rodriguez, bombing forward, trying to get involved.
Alisson wants to take it short, but there's a high press from the Swiss. He has gone out left to the midway point of his own half, and Marcelo, but three Swiss players led by Seferovic and assisted by Blerim Zemaili and Shaqiri just stopping them, played out to one of the centre halves in front of the 18-yard box. Here though is Thiago Silva, given an opportunity tonight, somewhat surprisingly, in place of Marquinhos, who played most of the qualifiers for Chichi in Brazil. Coutinho out to the left-hand side on the halfway line for Marcelo, his captain. Coutinho goes again, tries to drift past Barami, but Barami gets the better of him, and Lichtsteiner, the skipper, clips the ball into the Brazilian half, and Shaqiri knocks it down intelligently. It's now picked up by Steven Zuber of Hoffenheim. Plays the ball out to Shaqiri on the right-hand side. Lichtsteiner on the overlap, but Shaqiri looks to go alone into the area and clipped over the bar by Zemaili in a good position about 8 yards out. Ball bounced just in front of him, tried to get on top of it, but it's over the bar. Brazil have a goal kick, and it stays 0-0.
Well, we said it had been a confident start from Switzerland, and it has. That move started with Barami, though. We talked about those two in front of the back four. It was so important. He tracked the run of Coutinho, won the ball back, and then Swiss tried to counter-attack. Shaqiri's ball into the box was a decent one, and they're their first attempts on goal. Once again, high press from Switzerland for the goal kick, and they've won it back on the halfway line as Brazil clear it hurriedly. A clear tactic from Vladimir Petkovic, the Swiss boss, to prevent Brazil just casually rolling the ball out from the back. Ball's back with the Swiss keeper, Jan Sommer, decked out all in black tonight in his goalkeeping getup. Ball played up to the halfway line, looking for Haris Seferovic, but that's intercepted neatly by Casemiro. And now Neymar with his first touch, with blonde highlights in his hair for this World Cup. Can have no trouble spotting him, nor his skipper Marcelo with his big hairdo just out to his left-hand side. And Neymar's just won a free kick for a bit of a nibble at the back of him by Valon Barami. It's interesting, isn't it? All eyes are on Neymar. As soon as he picked the ball up, there were 3 or 4 Swiss players all around him, not giving him a moment's peace. 4 minutes gone on TalkSport. Matt Holland alongside me, Ian Danta here in Rostov. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0. But I think that's one of the referee allows play to continue. And he goes out to the right-hand side, and Willian getting his first touch, level with the edge of the Swiss. The referee played a really good advantage. And to be honest, he could easily have come back and given Granit Xhaka a yellow card, because that is a yellow card offence. And Switzerland getting a taste of their own medicine in terms of the high press from the goal kick, because there were yellow shirts dotted all around the edge of the 18-yard box. Well, they've done that much, Chiche. With Dunga, it was they were deeper, they were happy to let the opposition have it, but they do press higher under this new manager. You and I saw it when they beat the Germans in a friendly back in March by a 1-0. Switzerland have cleared their lines this time, though.
High ball over the top looking for Seferovic, but Thiago Silva deals with it. Miranda helps the ball over the halfway line, but a diving header from Lichtsteiner returns it with interest back into the Brazilian half. Nearly 7 minutes gone on World Cup Live on TalkSport. No goals yet between Brazil and Switzerland, but here come the Swiss again down the left-hand side, looking for Steven Zubert, who can play at wing-back or at winger, playing as one of the three attacking midfielders, but he can't get his cross in. The ball's lobbed forward, and Gabriel Jesus forces Akanji into a weak header out to the Brazilian right, where it's picked up by Jesus. Paulinho driving into the area right-hand side, just runs out of ground before he can wrap his foot round the cross, and it's another goal kick to the Swiss, 0-0.
More evidence of that high press though. Jesus this time, he's got a choice to pick, hasn't he? Jesus or Firmino up top, and both of them do the job equally as well, that closing down from the front.
Well, Sommer has the ball at his feet, elects to go immediately out to his left, and Akanji gives the ball back to Sommer, just rolls the ball under his right foot, and a neat little ball past Jesus to Barami, who can tickle the ball up to Xherdan Shaqiri, who bustles his way into the centre circle and flicks the ball out left for the runner of Rodriguez, who takes the penalties for Switzerland. And he's trying to play a 1-2 with Gemaili down that left-hand side for Switzerland, but it's won back comfortably by Thiago Silva. Willian, deep inside his own half, flicks the ball in beautifully for Danilo, steps away from Xhaka, and now there's a bit of a break on here for Brazil. Coutinho running through the centre circle, two to his left, feeds it to his captain Marcelo. Marcelo just slows the move down for a moment and now feeds Neymar, immediately faced up by Barami. Holds off Barami as he moves in field, Neymar, and then leaves it for Casemiro. Coutinho now finds Neymar, red wall in front of him, tries to play a 1-2 with Jesus, almost got in to the penalty area, but Lichtsteiner had dropped just a little bit deeper, anticipating that 1-2, and he got it back to his keeper Sommer, who clears for Switzerland, 0-0.
It's lovely to watch when they just inject that extra bit of pace into their game. It's been slow, and all of a sudden it's just one or two passes and they're away.
Switzerland in possession with Fabian Schär, who hasn't had the best of seasons with Deportivo La Coruña. Didn't have a great run of form towards the end of the season. There was a thought that he might not make the 23, but here he is, and he's in possession just shy of the centre circle for the Swiss. Allowed to carry the ball over the halfway line, then trying to play a right-footed ball out to the left-hand side, looking for the run of Steven Zubert. Danilo, his opposite, number 14, puts it out for a throw, 0-0.
Well, in the first 10 minutes we've seen that there are gaps in this Brazilian defence, and it tends to be behind the full-backs. So far it's been behind Danilo, actually, where they've been able to get him.
9.5 gone on TalkSport. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0 here in the Rostov Arena in southwest Russia. Well, that was Blurian Gemaili trying to dispossess Paulinho, but he just toe-ended the ball out of play, so Brazil have a goal kick taken quickly by Alisson to stop Switzerland getting in that position with the high press. It was Shaqiri who was caught out, and now it's with Thiago Silva. Looks to his right and finds Danilo of Manchester City. Back with Thiago Silva. Paulinho, who of course we remember in his Tottenham days, now playing out in was playing out in China before he was brought back to Barcelona. Had one heck of a season. Thought he'd disappear when he went off to play in the Chinese Super. Works it back to Coutinho at the edge of the box, trying to work the angle for the shot. Finds Neymar left-hand side of the area. The ball's played in. Paulinho, how did he miss that? Somehow screws it wide of the right-hand post. Paulinho right in front of goal. Didn't get the best connection. Schär did his best to put him off. It's gone wide for a Swiss goal kick, 0-0.
Well, it should be 1-0 to Brazil. The combination between Coutinho and Neymar was brilliant. The ball wasn't a great one, but he got a bit of fortune. It ricocheted off the Swiss defender right into the path of Paulinho, who just scuffs his shot narrowly wide of the far post, but he should be hitting the target.
Switzerland have a life already then here in Rostov with 11.5 minutes played on TalkSport, 0-0.
I said to you, when Neymar picks the ball up, there's 3 or 4 players get around him pretty quickly. You know what that means? It means there's space for somebody else, and that's what we're finding.
Miranda for Brazil. keeps possession inside his own half. It's a diagonal ball out to this near side, the Brazilian right, looking for Willian. He's found him beautifully. Willian's first touch is a bit heavy, but he can still find Danilo with his second touch just behind him. Paulinho's just had that excellent chance to put Brazil in front. Works the ball back into his own half, and Thiago Silva, and then square for Miranda. Little ball across the halfway line for Coutinho, who immediately looks for Neymar. Lovely first time flick out to the left for Marcelo. Neymar again. Got Berami at his back, as he's had so often in this opening 12 minutes. Has to run back to the halfway line to keep possession, and then tries to step away from Gemaili. And a couple of step overs. Trying to jockey past Gemaili.
Might need a couple of balls tonight. One for everyone else to play with and one for Neymar.
Thiago Silva hits a diagonal ball right to left, seeking out Marcelo. Headed up in the air though well by Shaqiri, back doing his defensive duties. Lichtsteiner tries to help it clear. Might break for Gemaili in the midfield, but no, it's one back by Brazil. Marcelo, 25 yards out, rolls the ball in to the left-hand side of the area for Jesus. Tries to clip the ball to the far post, looking for Willian, but it's too far ahead of Willian, and bounces once and then over the byline and out for another Swiss goal kick. 13 minutes played on TalkSport. Brazil 0, Switzerland 0.
Well, it was a bright start, wasn't it, from the Swiss? The team ranked 6th in the world, confident, but the last 5 minutes or so, Brazil have just upped the tempo. Should have scored. Paulinho had that effort when he dragged his shot wide of the post, and the last couple of minutes they've just been asking a few questions.
Now this time Sommer's going to take a deeper goal kick. He's bid his defenders to head towards the midway point of their own half, and that long clearance will stay in Swiss possession. Zubet sent it back to the halfway line, where Rodriguez is put under pressure by Gabriel Jesus, who runs away in the inside right channel, but Rodriguez gets back at him with one or two challenges, and then in steps Xhaka to help him out. Kept in play by Juba. A little flick in field by Xhaka's not the brightest. It almost broke for Coutinho, and the Swiss have given it up again as Neymar is clipped by Berami. Stays on the ground, clutching his right shin, and it'll be a free kick to Brazil. Well, it's about 35 yards out, but when's that ever put a Brazilian off from having a go at goal?
Well, it was a great ball into him, actually, from Casemiro. A first-time pass, 15-20 yards. It just split the Swiss midfield. It's getting plenty of close attention, though, Neymar.
There's about 7 Brazilian players around the ball. One of them's going to have to take responsibility. They all want it.
Well, yeah, there's so many that are so capable from this sort of distance as well. But Neymar was the man that was failed. You'd expect him to take responsibility.
Well, he's the one that's standing over the ball. Marcelo just to his right. And the referee from Mexico just telling the Swiss players to get back in order that he can form the wall. At the moment they're about a yard away from the ball. Now they realise that the old shaving foam's about to be deployed inside the D. It's very central, this free kick for Brazil. Neymar, Casemiro and Marcelo standing over it, but surely it will be the wonder kid of Brazilian football who will take the responsibility on with 15 minutes played. Takes 3 steps back from the ball. The wall is set at the edge of the 18-yard box, and we wait to see what Neymar can produce. Slow run up to the ball, right-footed, straight into the wall and away towards the halfway line. Picked up by Thiago Silva, and he'll pass it further back into his own half for Miranda. 0-0.
Yeah, not a good one. It's a World Cup where we've seen actually 3 goals already from direct free kicks. We were there in Sochi to witness Ronaldo score that late goal, didn't we?
Wasn't bad. That's as many free kicks already in this tournament as I think we had in the whole of the last World Cup.
Well, we haven't added to it with that one from Neymar. Not his best effort, fair to say.
No, but he'll probably get more. But it's 0-0. And Vladimir Petkovic, the Swiss boss, will be happy enough with the fact that they haven't been forced into Jan Sommer making too many saves in this opening 16 minutes. Brazil in possession, though, as there have been since the opening 3 or 4 when the Swiss started quite brightly, but it is their ball at the moment. Coutinho strokes it out to the far touchline where Marcelo waits. On the halfway line, back with Coutinho for Brazil. You're listening to Talk Sport. And Coutinho plays a lovely 1-2 with Neymar. Now Gabriel Jesus released down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Tried to send it in for Paulinho, who again was the furthest player forward centrally. But Sommer dived on the ball at his near post and claimed it. 0-0.
Brilliant from Coutinho. much like at Liverpool, where he changed his position, didn't he, where he was one of the more advanced players and he went into midfield. The same now for Brazil, that slightly deeper position, but he's looking to get on the ball at every opportunity, and a little 1-2 and a fabulous ball through to Jesus as well. He's starting to really pull the strings.
Jan Sommer forced by Neymar to clear hurriedly out for what is now a Brazilian throw just inside the Swiss half, left-hand side, and it's worked back to Miranda for Brazil to start again, stroking the ball out with some authority in these early stages now. The 5-time world champions. Willian running back to the halfway line, but dispossessed by Valon Barami, but immediately Casemiro steps in to stop Barami getting his head up and seeing what was around him. It's a throw to Switzerland, 0-0. Thrown back by Rodriguez for Manuel Akanji, who helped Basel into the Champions League knockout stages before joining Borussia Dortmund. And his channel, Uber, Shaqiri again, has got Rodriguez showing for him on the near touchline. Forced to go back into his own half though in Akanji, but now the Swiss have possession. You can tell because the left on Rodriguez. Not the first time touching field for Zuber, but that was a nothing ball. From Zuber, trying to hit it down the inside left channel, down the left-hand side of the box, but Shaqiri.
And they've been brave in possession so far.
Brazilian possession once again with Marcelo. Coutinho just ahead of him as he moves into the Switzerland half, a couple of yards in from the touchline. Neymar touches it back for the ball from Barami. Lovely little dink in field for Neymar. Rides one challenge, gets to the left-hand corner of the box, feeds Marcelo on the overlap. Early cross in, headed clear by Zuber. Only as far. Oh, that goes right into the postage stamp. What a hit from Coutinho to see Brazil in front. It's for Liverpool and then for Barcelona. Sommer grasping for thin air. He fires Brazil in front. Brazil 1, Switzerland 0.
Absolutely outrageous from Coutinho. We've seen some wonder goals already in this World Cup. We've just seen another, and this could be the best of the lot so far. He picks it up. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's to bend it into the far corner. He starts it outside the post. It finds its way onto the post and into the back of the net. Great start for the Brazilians. Wonder goal from Coutinho.
That ball must have started 4 or 5 yards outside Sommer's left-hand post when Coutinho struck it. But by the time it reached that far post, it kissed the inside of it on its way into the net. And Coutinho now has his 11th international goal in 38 appearances. He didn't play, put Brazil in front in the most sumptuous.
They're enjoying
themselves. Is shaking on the halfway line by Akanji, but legally so, says the Mexican referee.
Times he's been upended. The thing is, the problem from Switzerland is so much attention to him. There's so many players in this side that are capable of doing something.
As we've seen in spectacular fashion from Barcelona's Philippe Coutinho. So we're midway through the first half on TalkSport. Brazil are in control and have been since 3 or 4 minutes into the game. Miranda just jogging with the ball at his feet inside his own half. Finds Coutinho again, who's dropping deep. Threads a lovely ball over the halfway line for Paulinho, who tried to flick it first time into the path of Neymar. Didn't quite come off for him, and the Swiss have it back with Zuber. Seferovic in the left wing position picks it up, has to roll the ball back to Rodriguez, couldn't turn and go, and Rodriguez fires the ball across inside his own half for Cher. Picked up by Barami now. Looks up as he runs over the halfway line and squares the ball left for Akanji. Now out to the left-hand side, and Zuber. Xhaka, Swiss Player of the Year this year. Lovely ball out to the right, and Lichtsteiner immediately faced up by Marcelo, but Shaqiri looks for Lichtsteiner again with a reverse ball, and Brazil did just enough, but Shaqiri has it back. Got 2 Brazilian players out with him, Casemiro and Marcelo. Looks for his skipper Lichtsteiner, tries to bulldoze his way past Miranda, but he can't do so. It's in the left-hand corner of the Brazilian half defensively, and Brazil will get it clear and calmly roll the ball back to Coutinho. Matt Holland.
Excellent organisation though from Brazil. As soon as they lost the ball, they got themselves back into their shape. 4-1, 4-1. Now we're saying that Jesus is playing up top. Neymar was then that man up top, but Jesus just fills in on the left-hand side. The organisation getting back into that defensive structure was very good.
Here's Zubir striding down the left-hand side for Switzerland. Good ball infield for Seferovic inside the area, and we tried to poke it for Gemaili, who went to ground inside the box and has won a corner. It went off Miranda. And let's see what the Swiss can do from a set piece. The centre-halves of Kanji and Shearer on their way up, and it's Swiss's first corner of the game.
Well, that was a striker lacking in confidence, wasn't it, Seferovic, when he picked the ball up. He was looked really to pass responsibility on. He was only 16 yards from goal. He was there to take the shot on.
It took a lot of work from Gemaili to get to that ball and force Miranda to put the ball behind for this corner. It's a left-wing corner, so